Hey guys, what's good? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Brianna. I did have a baby girl. And she is so beautiful. I love her, my little Camila Estrellita. My mom's taking care of her right now. She's almost gonna be 3 months. So I just wanted to come on here and tell my story of how or what I feel saved my breastfeeding journey, because at one point I was struggling and like researching everything and just trying to figure out what was gonna work for me. So if you want to go ahead and figure out what helped me save my breastfeeding journey and just, you know, some experience or information on breastfeeding and stuff, go ahead and keep on watching. It all starts right after I birthed Cammy. They put her on my chest, and right away she was like crawling to my boob to try and feed, which I was so grateful for, because I know some babies like kind of don't like don't really suck or latch on really like well, but she did really well in the beginning, so I'm super grateful. And so the first comment on my nipples or breasts, whatever, from the beginning was from my nurse, who was my labor nurse. And she said, oh, maybe you can benefit from nipple shields, like your nipples look kind of flat, whatever. So I was like, okay, like I've never heard of that before, but I mean, she's a nurse there and deals with this, so I'm assuming she has some kind of experience. And just because someone is a nurse doctor doesn't mean that you shouldn't question them. You should be questioning everyone and anything, honestly. And then I went to the postpartum room, and the lactation consultant was there, and she checked me out. I told her what the other nurse had said. I told her what the nurse had said about like the nipple shields, and she looked at me and she goes, no, you don't need that, like you're perfectly fine. So I was like, oh, okay, perfect. So Cammy would feed. She would feed good. She was like perfect at it, I felt. But then all of a sudden I did start to feel like soreness, and more than soreness, like it started to become painful. So I left the hospital like maybe like 5 or 6 days. Cammy had jaundice like the first couple days of her life, so we'd have to go back like every day until it went away. So we were going back, and during that time the feedings, like I would kind of not dread them, I won't say that, kind of, I guess. They would hurt so bad, to the point where my boyfriend had to squeeze my legs because to distract me from the pain of feeding her. And I felt so bad because, you know, I wanted to breastfeed my baby. I like love breastfeeding my baby. So for that to happen, I was really sad and just like sitting there crying like I'm in pain, like, but I just kept breastfeeding her. So we went to one of the appointments for her checkup, and my boyfriend was like, you know, maybe you should tell them, like, because he knew I was in pain, but I didn't want to tell them because I knew that they were probably going to tell me to stop or something like that. So I went to the checkup, and then they asked, do you want to talk to lactation? And I'm like, okay, like I guess, because I don't want to give my baby an infection from feeding off like a raw nipple or anything like that. So I talked to her, I show her them right away, and she goes, oh, no, you need to stop right away. Like, that's way too raw. So I was like devastated inside. So what she did is she gave me nipple shell protectors from Medela, which were kind of like really small on my nipple, but they did help me, and they did save me. They also sent me home with ointment, so I had like 3 ointments, and then I put the shell on, and the shell was kind of to protect anything from like touching my boob or my nipple. Excuse my nails, I need to get them done. I'm getting them done like in 2 days or something like that, but yes, they're a mess. But yeah, so they sent me home with the nipple shell protectors and then the ointment. And then prior to this, right after I birthed Cammy, they did tell me to pump every time after she fed, 30 minutes pumping on both boobs to help like trigger milk production. So I was doing that as well as like her feeding and not, I guess, like latching on, right? I feel like honestly her mouth was kind of small for my boob to latch on. I don't know, that's how I feel. But yeah, so there was that. And I went home with the ointment. They told me to use that for 5 days, which I did, and I also used nipple shell protectors. And in my head, when she told me to stop, and I asked her, why is this happening, you know, why, like, how can I fix it and stuff, and she goes, let's not worry about that. You need to just like heal your nipples. You can't breastfeed her. So I was like, okay, I'm not even gonna question her. I don't like her energy, you know, like I don't need this energy in my breastfeeding journey. No. So I just left it at that, and I left. I was very devastated. I was really sad. But I knew that like my nipples had to heal. But I've also heard that moms have also breastfed their babies even when like they're bleeding and stuff. So, you know, like I could have done it, but I was just afraid of giving Cammy an infection from feeding off my raw nipple. But yeah, I know I have friends who actually bled a little bit while they were breastfeeding their babies, but it was completely fine. So prior to seeing lactation at one of Cammy's appointments, I was using the Silver Cups. They helped a little bit, but my nipples were to the point where the Silver Cups weren't enough. They were really raw and uncomfortable, and they would just hurt. Like anything that would touch them hurt. Like it was really painful. And I think I did tell you guys that the pain got to the point where my boyfriend had to squeeze my legs in order to like distract me from the pain. So there was that. So I stopped, and in my head, why she told me to stop, I was like, what if she doesn't take the breast right after, like, after having the bottle for 5 days? But, you know, she had to eat, so I had to give her the bottle. So I gave her the bottle. I didn't like how she was taking the bottle because she was like, it was a lot for her. And she would get a lot of gas and hiccups and stuff, so I didn't like that. But, or air, I guess you would say. So I didn't like that, but I had to give her the bottle because I couldn't breastfeed her. So I was exclusively pumping for those couple of days where I didn't feed her from my breast. And then when those 5 days came to a halt, to a stop, I tried to give her my boob, and she was not having it. She did not want to breastfeed off of me. She was not having it. I mean, because the bottle nipple is, or just giving them a bottle is a lot easier and a lot less work for them than feeding, like them breastfeeding. So, you know, it's understandable. It's easier for them. So there's that. So she didn't want to take it like just off me like that. So I was doing my research on how to get a baby back from bottle to breast. And she was so early on that I was like, she can learn to come back on. Like, I am not going to give up. I'm going to keep trying. I had that mentality. Like, I was like, I'm not going to give up on this. Like, I'm going to keep going. And when I looked up how to wean a baby off of a bottle back to breast, Nipple Shields came up. That was the first thing that popped up. And I like read a lot of like mixed reviews about Nipple Shields. I do follow this Instagram page, Lactation. I will go ahead and put her information right here because I like this. She puts out so much information that I love it. That I feel like has helped me also in my breastfeeding journey. So I definitely do recommend you guys follow her if you guys are breastfeeding or gonna have a baby soon and want to breastfeed. You know, I was looking at Nipple Shields and I was like, what I read was that it's gonna be hard to wean them off of that as well. But in my head, I was like, do I want her back to breastfeeding off of me with the Nipple Shield, or do I want her just to take a bottle? And my goal was to breastfeed without the Nipple Shield, but she wasn't having it. So in my head, what weighed itself out was breastfeeding her with a Nipple Shield. So I went to Target. I got myself a Nipple Shield. I do have them right here. I got the Medela ones. They have them at Target. I just washed them too, but I haven't used them in a while. But this is what a Nipple Shield looks like. I'm not a lactation person. I'm not anything like that. This is just from my personal experience. But yeah, so you just put this over your nipple and the baby feeds off of it like that. They saved my breastfeeding journey, I will say that. It comes in like 2 of them, and then you just put them in this little case and you're good to go. I had them for a couple days before I did even use them because I was nervous to give her them because I read something about like Nipple Shields decreasing your milk supply. So that made me kind of iffy. And then also as well, what made me iffy is that that they want to take the breast and it's hard to wean them off of that, but that weighed itself out a lot more in my head than giving her just a bottle all the time. So I went to her, I was trying to feed her. I kept trying to give her my boob and she wasn't having it. And I also kept in mind that I didn't want to give her a negative connotation with my boob every time I'd give it to her. If she would get frustrated, I would give her the bottle right away because I didn't want her to look at my boob or like smell the milk and stuff and get like a negative connotation and then her, you know, refuse it and her just associate it with being frustrated. I didn't want that. So I was mindful of that. And then one time, like a couple of days, I think it was like a day or 2 after I did get the Nipple Shields, I was trying to feed her just like bare breast, and then my boyfriend was like, just try the Nipple Shields, just try it out. So I grabbed it, I put it on right away. You guys, when I tell you guys right away, she like put it in her mouth and she opened her eyes and she was like, what is this? I swear. And she ate off of it and she was chilling, like she was good, like she was good with that. So I was so grateful that she took it like that. So I did the Nipple Shields for about like a month or so, and I will say it did help me as well because I feel like my milk, I have a strong letdown, and I feel like it's like a lot of milk for her when she's drinking it sometimes. So the Nipple Shield actually kind of helps that as well. It helps slow down it helps slow down if you have a lot of milk that's coming out for the baby. That's what at least I've read. And so I was grateful for that. So I was doing that for about a month or so. It was amazing. I'm so grateful for the Nipple Shields because I feel like that's what really helped me continue with breastfeeding. Of course, my hospital did have lactation consultants, but let me tell you guys, you have a goal, and if you want to reach that goal, you have to do your own research and stuff like that, because other people who work for big corporations don't really care about their job like that. At least not everyone does, unless you hire like a IBCLC, I believe that they're called, like a personal one that you hire yourself. Then I feel like you'll get the help that you need, but of course it's out of pocket, and that doesn't cover, it is most of the time it isn't covered with insurance, at least the one that I was looking into. So I did the research on my own, and the Nipple Shields popped up, and I did that, and it worked for me. And this is with anything, like if you guys have a certain goal, you guys, like, I feel like it's a personal responsibility to get yourself to meet that goal. And you can reach out to friends. I reached out to friends, and I would listen to their experience and stuff and kind of take pieces of other people's stories and stuff, and I would adjust it to my story or my experience and how I would go about things. But yeah, so there was that. So I did this shield for about a month or so. Then a couple weeks ago, Cami was super fussy. She was super tired. So I was doing skin to skin with Cami to help calm her down, and then I had to let down, like my milk started coming out. So what I did is I put her on my chest, I laid back, and I had her on me just like this, and then I put her down and I kind of lowered her down to my breast. Like I tried to copy like her experience of when she just came out of the womb and they put her on my chest and like how she went down. So I put her on my chest and I kind of lowered her down, and it was the funniest thing. The milk is coming out, and then she gets to my nipple and then she tastes the milk and she smiles. So I'm like, okay, maybe she's gonna eat from it or not, I'm not sure. So I had her like this, I had her on me, and then she's smiling at me, and then she latches on and she eats off of it. And her latch was amazing. We've been doing that so far. It's been about like 3 weeks or so that we've been off of the nipple shields, and I'm so grateful. And she eats off of my breast, no problem at all. I will say though, I have to say, okay, I don't know if it was Cami was just super tiny and her mouth was little, my boob was kind of too big for her to latch on right in the beginning, or if it was a nipple shield kind of got her to get a better latch. I'm not sure. I really don't know. But I don't know, but I'm grateful for the experience, and I'm grateful to be feeding my baby bare breast without a shield or anything like that now. And yeah, I honestly feel like these did help. I will say do your research before you do try anything, you know, in your breastfeeding journey, and make sure it's the right thing for you. I feel like these were the right thing to do for me, and they really, you know, a huge thank you to them, because I was honestly really sad because I thought that Cami wasn't going to ever take like bare breast again to breastfeed. But I'm super grateful that I did try these out, because I feel like it saved my experience and my breastfeeding journey, and we are going strong today, so I'm so grateful to be able to say that. She's almost 3 months. And yeah, I hope that this helps you out. If you guys are gonna have a baby soon, I wish you the best. Be strong, be mentally strong, reach out to your support groups, reach out to your friends, reach out to family and stuff. So I will leave these the actual nipple shields that I did use, and all the other stuff that I did get from the doctor when I was in pain and stuff, just so that you guys can see what I use. And you know, you can ask your doctor if it'll work for you or anything like that if you're having little bumps in the road. I'll link these nipple shields down below because you can get them at Target. Everyone's nipple size is different too, so be mindful of that. I do also want to add one thing before I do go, because I feel like this also helped me a lot as well. So when I breastfeed Cami, I feel like my letdown is really strong, and I, you know, have like a lot of milk that comes out at once for her, so it can kind of be a lot for her sometimes. So how I breastfeed her is I like lay down kind of like at an angle, and I put her on me like this. Even though she's like little, she's gonna be 3 months in a couple of days, I put her on her like this, so her head is right here and her body's just kind of like right here. And this helps so that the milk isn't like, gravity isn't just letting all the milk come out at once. Like she kind of has to suck more when she's like this. So I feel like that definitely helps with the letdown if you do have like a stronger letdown. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Give me a big thumbs up. I do want to do a video about like postpartum and stuff, and like what postpartum is really like, because you know, I honestly was not ready for that postpartum. It's a lot. But yeah, so I wish you guys the best if you guys are pregnant right now and expecting a little baby. I can't wait for you guys to have your little baby and experience that love. It's amazing. Thanks you guys for watching this video, and I hope to see you guys in my next video.